Ladies and gentlemen, in just a moment, we're going to begin the service for Diane Stotland Repkin. For those of you who are joining us here in person, please take a moment to be sure that your cell phones have been turned off. And for those of you who are joining us online, the family appreciates your presence. Rabbi Rachel Kaplan Marks from Temple Beth Israel in Skokie will be officiating. And it's at this time she's going to approach the family to perform the ancient ceremony of Kriya, tearing of the ribbon of Diane's husband, Nikolai.
So in Jewish tradition, you know that when we would hear of the death of a loved one, we would rip our clothes. It's an outward symbol, perhaps, of how we might be feeling inside. It's a symbol of the tear in the fabric of our family and the tear in the fabric of our own hearts. It's also a symbol so that everyone in the community understands that you are in a period of mourning. So I'm going to invite you to repeat a Hebrew prayer after me, word by word, and then we'll go ahead and rip your ribbon. Baruch. You can go ahead and repeat after me. Baruch.
You can't only do it over 1 year.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Say
Ata
Ata
Adonai
Adonai
Dayan
Diane
Ha'emet.
Emet.
And Larry, will you help him rip his?
Nice to a senior citizen. Thank you.
And as the rabbi begins with some prayers, we're going to ask the gentleman from the cemetery to place her urn into the grave.
Eli, Eli, shalo yigamer leolam, hachol v'hayam, rish rush shal hamayim, berak hashamayim, tfilat hadam, hachol v'hayam, rish rush shal hamayim, berak hashamayim, tfilat hadam. O God, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart. For Diane's life that united you, for her love which death cannot sever, for her companionship that you shared along life's path and which continues through the tenderness of memory, for the gifts of her heart and mind that brought joy and happiness, we offer thanks to God. At this tender time, we turn to our tradition, looking for words that might offer some measure of comfort. Though Diane didn't have children of her own, she loved each of her nieces and her nephews, her great-nieces and nephews, and her great-great-nieces and nephews, as if they were her own, and they loved her in return. And so it's no surprise that as a sign of love and respect, they requested that we read a passage known as Eshet Chayil, a passage from the book of Proverbs reserved for those beloved mothers. Eshet Chayil mi yimtza, v'rachok mipninim michra, batach ba lev ba'ala v'shalal lo yechsar. A good wife who can find. Her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and nothing shall he lack. She renders him good and not evil all the days of her life. She opens her hand to the needy and extends her hand to the poor. She is robed in strength and dignity and cheerfully faces whatever may come. She opens her mouth with wisdom. Her tongue is guided by kindness. She tends to the affairs of her household and eats not the bread of idleness. Her children, her nieces, and her nephews come forward and bless her. Her husband, too, and he praises her. Many women have done superbly, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a God-revering woman is much to be praised. Place before her the fruit of her hands. Wherever people gather, her deeds speak her praise. For generations, more generations than we can count, at times of mourning and difficult times, we read the words of the psalmist, Psalm 23, which reminds us that none of us is ever alone. I'll recite the psalm first in Hebrew, and then I'll invite you to join with me in the English translation, which you can find on the inside of your folder. Adonai ro'i lo echsar, bin ot deshe yarbitzeni, al mei menuchot yinahaleni, nafshi yeshovev, yancheni b'maglei tzedek lema'an shemo, gam ki elech begetz al mavet lo ira ra, ki ata imadi, shivtecha umin shantecha, hema yanachamuni, ta'aroch lefanai shulchan neged sorarai, dishanta v'shemen roshi, kosi revaya, ach tov v'chesed yirdefuni kol yamei chayai, v'shavti beveit Adonai la'orech yamim. Together, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Kohelet, otherwise known as Ecclesiastes, wrote L'chol zman ve'et l'chol chefetz tachat hashamayim. A season is set for everything, a time for every experience under heaven. He goes on to say that there is a time for silence and a time for speaking. This is the time for speaking. We'll hear from a number of family members. First, we'll hear from Nick.
Okay, Diane took.
Excuse me. Nick prepared a few words that he wanted to say, so we have them written down here. And Nick, he'd like to
try it.
present these.
Diane was the most kind person that I ever met. She was a teacher for 36 years, and my home wife was 39 years. May she be blessed with us, her. I'm looking forward. Her someday. God be with her tremendously. And also, I want to have me, everyone who cared to be my wife. She felt loved. Thank you, Suvette, for taking care of us. So I just want to say that it's hard for me to read or talk because of the sadness in my heart. But I'm glad I could have people today come and visit. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I just like to say a word or two also. Nick and Diane just celebrated their 39th wedding anniversary a couple of weeks ago.
It was August 18th.
Yep. And whenever they would come out, whenever we'd get together with them, they'd come out to the house for celebrating a birthday. Both of their birthdays were in May, so we'd celebrate them together. Or if we'd go out to dinner or something. Diane she would always provide some fun and some laughs. You never knew when she'd break out in dance or song, and it was always a lot of fun. We'll miss her.
She was a firecracker. Okay, thank you for coming out and celebrating her life with us.
Aunt Diane was a huge part of my life since my early childhood. She was serious when she had to be, and funny most of the time. She remembered my childhood as well. Auntie Diane-ee was supportive of me. She always went out of her way to see that I was stable. Auntie Diane-ee was concerned for my mental health. She and Uncle Nick took me to a restaurant when I had a panic attack. Although I was a troubled child, Auntie Diane-ee always was concerned for my well-being. She was comical and laughed out loud. Her happiness filled the entire room. I know she's in heaven watching over us.
Hi, my name is Gail Calver, and I am a third cousin of Diane's, and I'm going to speak on behalf of myself and also on behalf of all of the cousins and relatives that are not here and wish they could be here. First of all, Diane was such a joy, and she was, to me, the original hotsy-totsy girl. She would enter a room dancing. She was a world traveler, and wherever she went, she always brought me and my sister Carol little souvenirs, little bracelets from Spain, from Mexico. I was always so surprised when she showed up with them. She was a role model. She was fiery and fierce. She was fearless and fun. I'm now going to deliver a message from my Uncle Jerry, who was Diane's first cousin. Jerry could not be with us, but he is with us on the live stream. So he asked me to tell you that he loved her very much. He wanted to see her at the end, but knew he couldn't, and was very grateful that he got a chance to see her whenever it was possible. He said, "She danced her way through life. I will miss her every day of the rest of my life." And I just wanted to acknowledge, certainly first and foremost, Larry and Jean, who are her devoted nephews, and Larry for his extraordinary support of the family, and Paula for her extraordinary support of Larry. I want to recognize the family, the cousins, the next generation down. First of all, there was the top generation, the three siblings, Sam, Ida, and help me, Larry. Max, thank you.
Randy, don't hear that.
Randy, yeah, he says don't hear that. And all of them are remembered by their children and their grandchildren. Our cousins, our second and third cousins from Northern California, from Southern California, in Colorado, in Idaho, and on behalf of all of them, I'm the unofficial spokesperson. I know they're all watching, and we want you to know we're thinking of you, and we know you're thinking of us. And I just want to wish the next generation of cousins the same kind of family and closeness that we had. It doesn't just happen. We've worked at staying together, and thanks to Larry, we've had some wonderful Zoom reunions, and there are physical reunions as well. And I do just want to send love to the next generation and wish them the very best in their relations with their cousins. Thank you all. Thank you. May she rest in peace.
I don't think I have to announce myself. I think you know who I am. Thank you. You can look at this multitude of ways. You can look at it as the glass is half full or the glass is half empty. Yes, we have a loss of my aunt, but on the glass is half full, any person that she's ever been near has been touched by her. She's left an indelible mark. I lost my father when I was 5, but the glass is half full. I had 2 mothers. I will sorely, sorely miss my aunt on a regular basis. She is now glass is half full with her father, which means they're fighting already. Her mother, her sister, which is my mother, her brother-in-law, my father, who I really didn't know, her brother, Sidney, Harold, and Ruthie, well, and B. He had 2 wives. So I look at that as the family has regained its form in heaven, and they're in God's hands. The reason I'm speaking is because the last week has been, 2 weeks has been absolutely torture. She's been an up and down, getting better, getting worse. It's been a roller coaster. It's been emotional. Having somebody's life in your hands, I would not wish on anybody. But I want to reach out far and wide because I've gotten nothing but support, help, encouragement. And the reason I'm speaking now is to thank everybody who's helped me and bolstered me throughout this process. And my grandfather had a saying, and I've taught it to Nick. And Nick, you remember what my father's saying was? Life is for the living. So we've done all for my aunt that we can. And now we turn our faith and our energy towards Nick and try to support him going forward because he's going to have a rough road. So thank you all. I appreciate your love and support. I feel it. I've been able to reach out and touch it, and I thank you for it. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Rabbi Marks is new to our temple within the last year plus. And within that short period of time, She has reached out and left an indelible mark on our family. And for those of you who want to know, I'm going to tell you, sorry, she's younger than my daughter Marissa. And her daughter and my granddaughter are going to be going to Sunday school together. So I turned to the rabbi and I said, my granddaughter could be playing in your house. What an honor. So with a lot of love and respect, and she's put up with a lot from me, Rabbi Marks, I just want to thank you publicly.
Thank you, Larry, for those unnecessary but kind words.
And true.
Thank you. And the way that you took care not only of your mom, but of your aunt, and the way that this family has stuck together is, you don't see it every day. It's really remarkable. Vador, Vador. Diane was the youngest of 3 to the late Sam and Tillie Stotland, Aleichem HaShalom. She was the baby of this tightly knit, loving family. In some ways, it was an idyllic childhood, everyone pitching in a hand with the family business, Stotland's department store. And also from a young age, Diane exhibited a zest for life and a free spirit. She had a rebellious side, and she marched to the beat of her own drum. She even, in her youth, joined the traveling circus as a dancer. Diane had a tremendous personality. She was unafraid to strive for the things she wanted to achieve. She fiercely loved her family, and there were no bounds to her kindness. She was fun to be around, and she was funny. A trademark of hers, I'm told, is that she would even laugh at her own jokes. Diane followed her own internal compass, which led her to travel the world, collecting trinkets and keepsakes to remind her of her travels. And no matter how far she traveled, she was deeply anchored to her beloved family, especially to her brother Sidney and sister Evelyn, Aleichem HaShalom, and their families. She was a deeply loyal and caring friend as well. Diane was the kind of daughter, sister, wife, aunt, and friend who was constantly by the side of the one she loved through life's moments of celebration and sorrow. She would be the first one on the dance floor at a wedding party, dragging her nephews along with her by the cheek, I'm told. She didn't mind being the center of attention. And in life's more difficult times, Diane's steadfast care and kindness, love, and loyalty shone through as well. This was evidenced by the way she cared for her mother at the end of her life, the way that she was there for her sister when her brother-in-law, Henry, Alav HaShalom, passed away, by the way that she was there for Jean and for her close friend Marguerite, and for all of the people that she loved. Diane not only earned a master's degree, which was very uncommon for women in her generation, but she was also determined to master the Spanish language, enough to be able to not only understand it, but to speak it and write it. This enabled Diane to become a bilingual Spanish teacher in the Chicago public schools for 36 years. This is where she met her beloved husband, Nick. The two loved each other deeply, and that love abides. Whether it was eloping in New York or bungee jumping at the age of 78, Diane was full of energy and life. She was somebody who liked to gather with people, and people gravitated towards her. This week, I had the privilege of not only meeting with Diane's beloved husband, Nick, and the Hymans, the Chicago branch of the Stotland family, but with all 5 of Diane's nieces and nephews with their spouses and many of their children, Diane's great-nieces and nephews. The love exuded within this group was palpable even through the screens we used to connect across long distances. To her 5 nieces and nephews, Heather, Leslie, and Duane, Larry and Jean, and their own families, Diane was their Auntie Diane-ee. Each of them shared their own special memories with their Auntie Diane-ee because Diane made sure each of them felt her love. There were big moments like nights out on the town on State Street and memories of Diane, even in her later years, jet skiing or floating in the middle of the lake, or dinners with beautiful views overlooking the ocean. And then there were the everyday moments, like helping with Spanish homework or celebrating with homemade ice cream pie. Diane touched the lives of everyone she loved, and she made them better. She taught everyone around her how to live with gusto, with passion, and with joy. And while Diane is already profoundly missed, her impact, the lessons she taught, and the love she shared will abide forever. So now we pray that Diane's soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. I invite everyone who is able to please rise. El male rachamim, shochein bamromim, hamatzei menucha nechona tachat kanfei hashchina, im kedoshim utehorim, kizohar harakia mazhirim, et nishmat yakirenu shahalcha le'olama, Baal harachamim yastireha beseter knafav le'olamim, v'yitzror b'tzor hachaim et nishmata, Adonai hu nachalata, v'tanuach b'shalom al mishkava, v'nomar Amen. God of abundant mercy, God most high, may the soul of our loved one, of Diane Estelle Stotland Repkin, who has gone into eternity, find the gift of perfect peace in your embrace, together with the holy and pure, whose light shines like the radiance of heaven. Compassionate God, hold her close to you forever, so that her soul may be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May she find a home with you, and may she rest in peace. Together we say, Amen. You know, in the Jewish tradition, it is the highest level of a mitzvah, the highest level of a commandment that we can fulfill by helping to lay our loved ones to rest, to tuck them gently back into the earth. And so anyone who wishes to participate in this mitzvah, once we are able to join together and say Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish, we'll have a chance to take three shovelfuls of earth and to place them into the grave. It's a painful thing to do, and yet it's the kind of mitzvah that can never be repaid. It's one more way to show the abiding love that you all have for Diane. So at this time, we'll join together in Kaddish Yatom, in Mourner's Kaddish. You should be able to find the words in your folder. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divra chirutei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach leolam ulamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudisha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Osei shalom b'imromav, hu ya'asei shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Zichronah livracha, may Diane's memory always be a blessing.
Ladies and gentlemen, memorial contributions in her memory to Temple Beth Israel and Skokie would be appreciated. The information is on the service folder, and for those of you who are joining us online, that information is on our website. We are going to turn off the live stream at this time as the family places some earth into the grave. Maybe before we turn off the live stream, Rabbi, if you could be a shaliach for all the people that are online. So the Rabbi is going to place the earth on your behalf, and then we'll turn off the live stream. Oh, we can leave the live stream. Okay, we'll leave it on.
Yeah, sure. Yep. Anyone else who
wishes to participate?
Maria, do you want to go with them or do it by yourself?
Folks, please come forward.
In the Jewish religion, this is a very high mitzvah. This is a very high mitzvah. 3 times.
Ota vakesh shifti beveit Adonai kol yemei chayai lachazot benoam Adonai ulevaker beheichalo lachazot benoam
Okay, although you're not here, Heather, this is for you. Duane, Bonnie, Leslie, and Hector, we're all doing this together. I'm doing it, but it's for you as well.
Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota vakesh Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota vakesh shifti beveit Adonai kol yemei chayai lachazot benoam Adonai ulevaker beheichalo lachazot benoam Adonai ulevaker beheichalo esa einai el heharim me'ayin yavo ezri esa einai el heharim me'ayin yavo ezri
I'm doing this on behalf of the Calver family and Uncle Jerry and Max's children and grandchildren with love.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we're going to ask everyone to help form a shirah, a double aisleway, and her husband will walk through and you may offer words of consolation, which you can find on the back of the service folder. So if I can ask everyone to please follow me, and the rabbi will lead everybody in the traditional words. Please follow me. Sir, shovel.
Larry, Uncle Nick needs help.
I can help.
You want to do it? Sandy, come on.
Folks, please follow me. Please come this way.
Sandy, come on.
As the family walks through, the rabbi will lead everybody in the words of consolation, and then we'll conclude our service.
These traditional words of comfort, first in Hebrew and then in Hamakom, Yinachem, Etchem, Betoch, Sha'ar, Avilei, Sion, Yerushalayim. May you be comforted among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. Now go forth unto life. This concludes our service today. Shabbat Shalom.